Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for the first time this season to the Racers Driving League Season 15. Welcome to the second round of the championship, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, here from the beautiful Jeddah Street Circuit. I'm your host, Zach Arcee, returning for the first time since last season after things went wrong for us in the season opener in Bahrain. And joining me once again is a driver who actually started that race last week. Welcome back, Season 11 champion, Tatsui Pope.
Hello. Yeah, no, very, very exciting times. Last race, actually race, but it was a shame that we weren't able to sit along at home watching here. But I'm excited to be in the commentary booth, back with you, Zach, and here at Jeddah as well. Exciting times around this track, remodelled in this game.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very excited for this one. I've got to ask you, how are you finding the game so far? Because you said that was your first race on the game last week. How was it for you?
I mean, it was good. Very, very bad qualified, however. The race felt good, felt very nice to drive for once in an F1 game. It's been a very long time since I've been able to say that, but looking good. And I think the drivers are enjoying it, though the game's obviously still developing. The drivers now finding a groove a little bit. Definitely
good to see. And from what I'm told, last week's race was very entertaining. We'll look into that shortly. But first up, we're going to go jump into the qualifying session. We've got Curtis in his new Alfa Romeo, about to go through on his first final lap. Pope, do you want to try to take us on a lap of Jeddah for us?
I would happily do that. One of the most thrilling laps on the circuit, and we're only at race 2. Going down south in the straight here, now crossing the starting line, ready for a hard braking zone into 1 and 2. Very hard on this. She's getting to lock up the race, which Curtis did through 2 there, and using all the track on the exit. Now, I think this will be turn 3 or turn 4, not too sure. Cutting it very, very close to the wall. That's the main thing you have to do around this track. Follow the curbs, stay on the curbs, and try and keep your foot planted as best you can. It's doing a fantastic job there through sector 1. That curb's been remodeled now. It's a bit hard to run out onto the edge, but Curtis did it as best he can, and he's got a Red Bull right behind him, coming through this sweeping left-hander turn 9. I want to say it's so hard to keep up with the corner numbers around this track because they all just merge into one another. Such a thrilling thing to do as a driver, just keep your foot planted through all these corners. Revving out the engine now, coming onto this straight. We're going to open the DRS. First time since the start-finish straight you have DRS. Some great overtaking opportunities around this track. Heavy braking zone under the bridge. Look at that, riding them beautifully, using all the track possible. His tyres will be screaming right now. The tyre temps reach maximum round here, so the teams will be using quite high tyre pressures, I'm pretty certain. Going into the final braking zone of the lap. After that long massive straight, Max Verstappen ruined one of the best qualifying laps I've seen in a very long time here. Opening DRS for the final time and across the line with a 128.4. Not a bad lap.
Well, there we go then. That is your lap of Jeddah with Season 11 champion Pope. And I must say, I've missed hearing your beautiful voice take us through these laps. As Lucky Lambert, who of course returned last week, now goes fastest, 1 minute 27.6, quickly eradicating that. And BJ goes second fastest in the Mercedes. So, of course, you look at the silver arrows, or the black arrows, once again go back to the black livery this season. C110P fan, BJ's teammate, winner of the first race of the season in Bahrain last week. And he won this race last season too. So could he be on course for perhaps another win here as Grimmer goes fastest?
I think he would love to. The Mercedes looked quite good last race. Me driving one of them back in my old team. They asked me to come back and I did. It was fantastic. But yeah, both Alpines now 1 and 2. Fantastic for them. They're looking rapid. I think, like we were saying in the season draw, I think Alpine, Mercedes, and even maybe Alfa Romeo could be the teams to look out for during this championship.
Well, Alfa Romeo have already got off to a good start, leading the Constructors' Championship right now. TJ coming home with second place in Bahrain, Curtis finishing in 5th. And Red Bull Racing currently sitting in 3rd place. Badman, of course, the debutant last month, finishing 4th. And Dan finishing in 6th place. Both those two are in the race tonight.
Yeah, no, they had a great race last time out. Red Bulls are definitely someone to look out for. Badman on his debut was fantastic. I do have to say, nice couple of battles with him. So I'm excited to see what he can do around a completely different circuit to Bahrain. I think we have to make mention to that. This is going to be a completely different race to obviously what we didn't see, but what I can tell you is a completely different race it's going to be.
I completely agree. Purpose built versus street circuit. I mean, two very different kettles of fish to navigate, if you catch my drift there. So I'm watching Grimmer here on his what I'm assuming will be his in lap. And one scary thing, Pope, he set that best time. It could only be a banker lap, but he set that on medium tyres. He's half a second faster than his teammate Sniper Hunter, who set his best lap on softs. Should we be nervous?
Yes, obviously. We know how quick Romeo is. He's always been quick. He's always been fantastic. But we have to bear in mind, he did retire last race. He's on 0 points going into the second race of the season. Obviously, nothing to worry about in this early stage. However, is that a sign that he's not fully connected with the car yet? He might be able to do it over one lap, but holding out for these 25 laps that we're going to see this evening, will he be able to do it?
I mean, I know you know for a fact all too well about going into the second race of a season as a defending champion with no points to your name. I remember the start of season 12 for you, so I have to remind you of that as his teammate Sniper Hunter comes into the pit. So good stuff from Alpine so far. Mr. TJ currently sitting in 3rd place, 2nd in the championship after finishing as the runner-up last time out. And Fan and BJ 5th and 6th, Lycon in 7th right now, Curtis 8th, PJ Khaled 9th, and Huggy Bear, who makes his return tonight, rounds out the top 10. It's good to see Huggy back.
Yeah, no, I think we have to make mention to that. I didn't think we'd see him back that so soon, but I'm so glad he's back. That guy just brings a smile on my face every time. He graces us with his presence, and he's not looking too bad, you know. At the end of last year's game, the pace slowly dripping off there for the Huggy, but on my screen he's just purple sector 2. So I don't know what pace Huggy Bear's about to show us, but I hope it's enough to get him points this evening. I
completely agree with you. Of course, I think back to China, the penultimate race of last season. That was his last race, looking for a points finish to cap off his RDL career to that date, but didn't quite manage that time round. So hoping that I think this will be a bit better for him as he fails to improve by 2/10 on his previous effort, which is unexpected. He's been in those hard soft tyres for about 3 laps or so now. 10 minutes to go in qualifying as it stands. 4 cars yet to set times. Courtney Goblin in the Williams this season, so that'll be only one Williams we see off in qualifying coming up the pit lane. Evil Scotsman in 15th, and both Red Bulls yet set a time. But Badman now looking to change that. He's on his way through sector 3 now.
Yeah, Badman coming into the final braking zone, heavy on those brakes there. It's hard to not lock up, tapping the inside barrier there. He's trying to use all the track. I know I said use it all, but maybe a little bit too much there by Badman. And it puts him in 10th place. I think he's definitely going to be wanting to improve on that lap time.
Definitely, because no points handed out for qualifying, only for the Grand Prix itself. So that'll be the thing we'll be keeping an eye out on. Because if we see cars out of position on a track like this, then they could struggle during the Grand Prix because there's a lot less room to overtake. The track isn't as wide as Bahrain is in a lot of places, so it could be a struggle tonight.
No, most definitely. I think penalties will be rife. Not on any of the drivers' issues, but I think there's the track itself. Every single error will cost you around the circuit, no doubt.
I want to run on board with BJ for the moment, and there's a particular curb that I'm hoping we don't see too many drivers hit. It's this one right here as he comes off the exit of the right-hander coming towards the end of the first sector. And there's a curb on the exit there that you can completely ride if you go too wide on it. I know this fact all too well myself, unfortunately, but I'll be hoping for the driver's sake we don't see too much of that tonight.
No, riding dirty that curb would not be quite nice. It would literally just, I think it just carries your car, doesn't it, and just sends you straight off into the wall. I could see unfortunate things. Oh my lord, getting close to the walls there with BJ after he rode that curb on the inside. That is, the curbs are getting dangerous around this circuit, so it's another challenge, another one for the drivers to learn just in the second race on this game.
I'd say the curbs are probably getting more and more dangerous in general over the last couple of years on this game, especially the sausage curbs, which I'm praying that the F1 just get rid of one day, because not only they're a burden to the drivers, but they're also a burden to us people who play the F1 game too. So I'm hoping they eventually bin that idea off and try something else that isn't as annoying.
Yeah, let's hope so. But I think our current pole sitter, Grumio, is I mean, BJ, that's a great lap there, but still 4/10 off Grumio, who's on the mediums. Grumio's got some wicked pace around there. Will anyone be able to catch him?
I mean, I doubt it. He's gone onto the soft tyres now, so I'd see just how much gap there is between his medium tyre lap and his soft tyre lap. Because he's done exactly what I said he could do, and that just proves my point there, Pope. Exactly that. But somehow the lap is still valid. As JB retires, JB's crashed the car. Let's have a look. What's happened? Oh, he's almost gone straight on there and hit the wall. I think if I look at another look from a different car's angle, there's no one I can really look at. But he's out of qualifying, unfortunately. 1 minute 28.3 is best effort, which is only good enough for 10th right now. So I dare say we could see him further back in the field going into the start.
I think it's nothing really to worry about right now for JB. Obviously, you want to be near the front of the grid at all times, but this game is so easy to overtake, so easy to follow. So I think you'll be feeling all right because there's so many DRS sections of the circuit. The DRS is so powerful. We know that. So you'll be all right, but obviously not a nice way to end qualifying. Knocks your confidence.
Definitely, of course, you don't want to see that same sort of mistake during the race. I remember last season there was quite a large crash around the end of the second sector after I think it was a safety car restart. There's about 4 or 5 cars involved in that. I'm not sure if you remember that, Pope. I'm not sure if you were involved in it or what, but
I can't really remember that too well. Personally, I mean, it's been a very long time from past season, so I've had a nice break between the two F1 games. I've forgotten pretty much most of F1 22.
Well, you'll need to rewatch a lot of my shorts then, because I'm pretty sure I made a short on that very crash. 6.5 minutes left to go in the session as of right now. Grumio is struggling right now because, of course, that first lap went wrong for him, and he's invalidated it, this second one. So he's in a bit more trouble as TJ's now gone second. He's now just 2 tenths off of Grumio. As a Top Cat gets disqualified for going the wrong way. What on earth has happened to the Top Cat and the Aston Martin? He's turned the car around, and he's out of it. He'll start dead last.
I mean, a very dangerous place to just park up the car there. I'm not really too sure. Maybe a spin in the games thought he's gone the wrong way, but just unfortunate, to be honest, for Top Cat there. Now he's going to be dead last. It's not going to help his course. Both Aston Martins currently 16th and 17th. Evil Scotsman really needs to pull one out the bag for the team.
Definitely right. We'll see how things change in the last 5.5 minutes of qualifying. Fan is up by 6 tenths right now. Almost 7, so he could be on course to try and put that car on the front row, at the very least, around his teammate BJ. We'll keep an eye on what he does, because looking to increase that championship lead if we can. And it's a shame, because I do enjoy most, if not all, of C1's MP fans' wins, because I always say the same phrase. I'm sure you've heard me say it before, Pope. All of fans' wins are achieved in chaos. I'm sure you've heard me say it before. He comes very close to going on pole there. Not too much in it at all, less than a 10th. But I'm sure you've heard me say that quote before.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously in the RDL, it's normally like two wins per season for Fan. I think even less than that sometimes, but I know obviously in other places and other racing leagues, Fan is quite the driver, and he's now finally showing it here in RDL, so I'm very, very excited. And yeah,
I've been looking forward to seeing it in particular from him. So I have to see just what you can do. See, do you reckon he's got time to go bolt on one more set of softs, go for one more lap, or do you reckon he's probably not bin it, but call it a day there, put it on the front row?
I think he probably could go for another lap. I mean, I think we're still expecting Grumio to improve by a substantial amount on the soft tyres. However, it's really up to Fan on what he wants to do. I would personally, I've got 2 attempts to TJ behind. I'm just going to leave it there, save a set of softs. The chance of a safety car around the circuit is so unbelievably high.
Yeah, definitely, I have to agree with you there. I'm hoping we don't see a red flag or anything like that over the course of the race itself, because I'm unsure if the red flag glitch has actually been fixed yet. Because I haven't read the patch notes for this new one, because I was in work when it happened. But I'm hoping that should we see a red flag, and I hope we don't, that everything stays okay and that the results aren't fixed from that moment as Fan comes back into the pits here. So I have to wait and see, Pope, as to whether or not Fan does make the choice to go for another set of soft tyres and try one more time. I see one of the Red Bulls on the way out the pit lane. That is, I believe that is Badman coming out the pit lane. Yes, it is. Badman on it. No, sorry, I was right the first time. It is Dan who's on his way out, making his way out the pit exit behind one of the Alpines. And I believe that Snub Hunt is running in 5th place. So 4 places off his teammate, but only half a second back. See how close qualifying is now. The top 6 covered by half a second. 6th place Lucky Lambert making his way back out, looking to try and close that gap.
Yeah, no, it's fantastically close. I mean, the drivers are really, really stepping it up this season. Obviously, some quite substantial gaps last season, but like you say, around the circuit as well, it's so fine margins to see how much time you can actually improve. So every 10th, every 1,000th counts. And I feel like we'll see this nearer to the end of qualifying. Only 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go.
I mean, we've seen some pretty close finishes to qualifying with drivers snatching pole position at the last second. I'm hoping that we can see some more of that. Correct me from can I ask who was on pole last week? Was it Grumio?
I believe it is Grumio, yeah.
Right, so he's gunning for a perfect record which is something that he couldn't do last season. But I argue he came awfully close, perhaps the closest we've probably ever seen in the history of this league, given the season he had last time round. And I look at it, it was brilliant that Shea Oliver could keep up with him over the course of the season. The fact that he couldn't attend some races is probably what kicked him out of it. I'd say if he attended all of them, good chance. The Sniper Hunter goes fastest by 2/10. Well.
Sniper, fantastic lap there. Obviously, track's ramping up, but don't take anything away. That man hit everything perfectly. Lovely little toe there by the Hooky Bear as well on one of the DRS straights, which definitely helped. But I think Sniper's going to be absolutely loving that and try and create as many yellow flags as possible to stop people improving.
Definitely. Let's see if Grumio, his teammate, can match that in the last minute and a half of qualifying. Fan did go for another lap. TJ's on another lap. BJ is on his way around as well. Lucky Lambert has just started what could be his final lap of the session. He might have time for one more after this one, but even so, he'll have very little ERS, so I doubt he'd be trying to go for another one at the end. Curtis in 7th right now. He's on an outlap. Dan is also on a lap just behind Lucky. Evil Scotsman on an outlap. PJ Khaled on an outlap. So yeah, everyone's going for it, save for Alvar and I think Huggy Bear.
Yeah, I think Huggy and Alvar are definitely out of it. So that's P14, P15 maximum for them too, which is a shame for them. I think they'll be obviously wanting a little bit more than that, but at the end of the day, you don't get the points for the qualifying, it's points for the race. And yeah, Evil Scotsman coming round the corner to start his lap. I do need to remember that it does sort of saying out lap near to the end of sector 3. So
that glitch still hasn't been fixed, which is very annoying for us commentators in particular. So I have to see just who can make it back round in time, because we haven't got long left. We've got 30 seconds as it stands. Lucky Lambert, he invalidated his last episode. He's got to get back round the next 20 seconds, otherwise he won't have a chance for another one. So it all comes down to this. He's got a lot of ERS left, so I dare say he's charged back up to go for one more run, and he shouldn't run out by the time the session comes to an end. Here we go. See how long he has left. He's got 10 seconds to get to the line and go for one final run. He's going to make it, but I think he'll be the last one to make it. Dan comes off the last corner. I think he may have just missed out. Checkered flag has now fallen. Dan, the next guy's across the line. He's tried to pin it at the line, but hasn't quite done it. He might have been able to improve there. He was on an outlap, so no, he wouldn't have. So that's all sorted from there. Sniper Hunter coming towards the line here to end qualifying. Lucky Lambert out, retiring from the qualifying session as well. I think he's probably been invalidated the other lap. Grumio towards the line, half a second up. He's put himself back on pole by half a second again. And Grumio again showing why he is still the master of qualifying, regardless of what game he's on. And we wait now to see if anyone can try and match him. PJ Khaled is a quarter of a second up. Fan is not up. BJ retires. So I think he's crashed the car.
Yeah. Shame for BJ there. Obviously, I think the two Alfa Romeos looking very strong, coming through to the final corners now. The constructors leaders here. And let's see where they'll be able to put it. Curtis Purple set to 1 the last time I was watching, so let's see it close. P6 for Curtis.
Ooh.
And
TJ
P3 for EJ. So decent things, but Alpine looking so strong. But Fan splits him. That is very, very big there by Fan. Not by much ahead of Sniper, but that is so crucial track position for Fan.
Definitely. And I see Badman just gone 7th fast as well. So looking to try and repeat that 4th place finish from last time out in Bahrain. Overall, I'd say that this is a very exciting looking starting grid, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the Top Cat can do from the back, along with Cottony and Huggy Bear. Alvar starting back there too. Evil Scotsman back there in 12th. PJ Calvert rounds at your top 10, and that brings qualifying to a close. So Grumio once again on pole position for the 2nd week in a row, for I was about to say I'm trying to go further back, but of course it was reverse grid in Brazil in the last season, so there's no qualifying there. So we'll go have a look at your top 10 here before we wrap off a little intermission between now and the race. So Grumio on pole position, he'll lead C110P Fan and Sniper Hunter down to turn 1. TJ starts in 4th, BJ 5th, Curtis 6th, BJ splitting the two Alfa Romeos, Badman 7th, Lucky Lambert an 8th in the end, Lycon 9th, and PJ Khaled rounds out your top half. So that is qualifying. We're back with you in a few minutes time. Let's start the race. So don't go anywhere, because this had all the makings to be an absolute classic. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to round number 2 of the brand new season of the Races Driving League, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, here from the Jeddah Street Circuit. Returning once again, I'm your host Zach RC, and alongside me, Season 11 champion Tuxby Pope, here to bring you all the action for what should be, no doubt, a fantastic second race of the season. Pope, what are your thoughts?
I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. Obviously, we still don't really know necessarily the pace of everyone yet, as people still figure out the cars. However, one thing we do know is Grumio set a fantastic lap in qualifying, but that didn't work out well for him last time. So let's see what will happen. I think it could be an exciting race. Always is around Jeddah. It's going to be action-packed, no doubt.
Yeah, the reigning RDL champion failing to score in the opening round in Bahrain, which we were unfortunately unable to stream. But we're back now, here to bring you every last bit of action from this season. So hope you're looking forward to it. Make sure to subscribe for all future RDL Season 15 content as we get underway for the formation lap, which we have returned to the immersive formation lap. So we'll be able just to get a bit more footage in that respect, not to listen to Crofty speaking between me and Pope speaking, which is always good to hear. So Pope, the formation lap for you then, because I haven't really had your insight on that. So how crucial is the formation lap to the race start? Talk us through it.
I've not had to talk about a formation lap in many, many years. Obviously, for formation lap, you're figuring out what people's tyres are on, you're looking around, you're trying to gain the best knowledge as you can. You're probably watching the stream here, just because we'll have all the tyres on the screen for everyone to see. So a lot of people on the mediums, soft to Lycon, PJ hard, Alvar hard, and Huggy Bear soft. Obviously making sure the tyres are up to a nice temperature. You're looking quite high around on this year's game, around 97, 98. That type of temperature range is going to be perfect. It all leads up to the perfect start where your reactions need to be fast, your tyres need to be ready to go, and you just put your foot to the floor as quickly as possible and get the best start as possible, the best traction. Really, that's the main bit.
Definitely, right. So we'll see just see who comes out on top in the run to the first corner. Of course, I haven't seen it on this game, but crucially, I remember last season, Grumio is brilliant in qualifying, but he's not the best off the line, and that could be his downfall, despite starting first. He's got a driver who is quite talented next to him. C110P fan splits the Alpines after qualifying, despite the Alpines looking like the favourites for the Constructors' Championship. Of course, they only sit 4th place right now. Alfa Romeo, Mercedes, and Red Bull all in front of them. I'd say we've got a good 3 or 4 teams who are going to be really fighting out for them for this one in the early stages of the season.
Yeah, C110P fan is definitely a racer more than anything. His quality pace is fantastic, don't get me wrong. However, that man puts in the most consistent results I've seen. So I think Grumio, in the back of his mind, will be thinking about how to stop that Mercedes, because like you said, he needs to, Grumio especially, to make up for the points that he lost on that opening race. So the Alpines will definitely be challenges to the Constructors title, but they're going to be the ones on the back foot.
Fair enough. I noticed that Grumio really sped up to the line there in terms of the formation lap, because as a result he's now been stuck waiting there because Fan really backed him up in comparison. Lucky Lambert and Lycon both missing their starting spots. Curtis also doing the same thing as the Top Cat and Huggy Bear take up the last 2 places on the grid here. So get ready for action. No more talking. It's time for the second race of the RDL Season 15. 5 red lights for the start of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, foot to the floor, go, go, go. Decent get away from Grumio, jumps into the lead over C110P fans. They charge towards the very short run into turn 1. Grumio away with the lead, Fan second, Sniper in 3rd place. BJ up into 4th. TJ and Curtis side by side off turn 2. Behind them, there goes Badman, Lycon and Lucky Lambert side by side. The Ferrari got a bit loose through there. PJ and Scotsman fighting for the last points. They go into turn number 4, the left-hander, and now going now. Scotsman has to go back into line, but a great getaway from Grumio there, allowing him to pull away. Lycon all over the back of Badman in the race for the 7th spot. But up front is the Alpine pulling away. And there's a yellow flag behind it. It's Evil Scotsman who's gone around. He's come off the loser in the battle with him and PJ Callaghan. It's cost him dearly. Scotsman down to the back of the field, but it's Grumio who leads.
Grumio, a fantastic start there. Getting already 8 tenths into this fucking lead. Pardon my language. And you see Evil Scotsman unluckily getting tagged in a collision with, I think, an Alpha Toyota, meaning that he got spun around and now he's completely away from the pack. You see, this is how close the racing is. Badman, Curtis and BJ, 3 cars battling, also tight going through these thin balls of Saudi Arabian Jeddah circuit. This is fantastic racing, and now he's prone to an attack from the Ferrari of Lucky Lambert. Will he be able to make a move around the outside, or will he dart to the inside? Not too sure. Let's see. Going around the outside.
Goes on the outside, trying to switch back. Oh, and there goes Lucky off into the wall.
Ooh.
He's damaged his front wing, and he's held up TJ there as well. Grumio sets the fastest lap of the race, goes on to lead the first lap. He, along with Fan and Sniper, are pulled away massively here. 3 seconds back to Badman in fourth. I think Lycon, sorry, not Lycon, yeah, Lycon might also got a piece of that. So the Aston Martins at the back of the field too. Top Cat in 14th, Evil Scotsman up to 15th. When those guys come into the pit lane here. But Grumio's pulled his way to a lead in the start, but he's been closed down ever so slightly by Fan. That gap now down to about 6-7 tenths. So same back to Sniper in third place, but 3 seconds to Badman in fourth right now. But he's under a bit less pressure now from Curtis and BJ. Now everyone's sort of settled down here. We're now into the real racing. We wait for lap 3 when DRS gets deployed for the first time in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's all about tactics now in this part of the race, especially for the leaders, like you say, who've already got a massive gap to the rest of the field. These guys are clearly in a class of their own right now, so they'll be planning on how to attack and defend each other. Obviously, Fan being a 2 versus 1 situation is the underdog, but we'll see if he's able to overcome that obstacle.
Grumio went very deep there going into the chicane. Fan can take full advantage of that if he tries on the battery, if he wants to. He's closing in a rate of knots here without it. He's going to look to the outside. This could be a lead change this early on here in Jeddah. Fan on the outside, Grumio on the inside. Who comes out on top? Fan trying to switch back on the exit. Didn't get enough for runs to try and pull it off, but has a good toe down the main straight as Dan rejoins. He goes AI for the first 2 laps. He's going to try and rejoin as Fan looks to the outside as we start lap number 3. So it's the fastest lap of the race as well. Sniper being careful not to drop back from these two. Who is last on the stoppers into turn 1 is Grumio, who has the better run and the inside line. He breaks later, holds on to the lead, but for how much longer, Pope? Because DRS is about to get deployed, or has been deployed, and we could be in for some fantastically close battles for the lead.
Yeah, it was a fantastic battle, but another fantastic battle is the scrap for the low points positions. These guys are actually giving it all, showing how much even just 1 point means to these drivers right now. But I am so excited to see what will happen between these front 3. They're so close together, and like I was saying in qualifying, DRS is so powerful on this year's game. I can even see Sniper Hunter taking P1 at one point, so I won't put my bets on anyone at this moment, but it's looking fantastic. These cars are just so good at following each other.
Definitely, you have to pride the A for once, despite the lack of actual changes to the game itself. There's been a lot of gameplay changes which we do enjoy, as opposed to just aesthetics things with career mode, things like that. So we can all appreciate that. And as I say, Pope, it's a lot easier for cars to follow each other. Grumio stays online this time, but Fan's going to have the DRS to try and close him down as best he can. Sniper's trying not to fall away too much, but there's about the same sort of gap between him and Fan as it is to Fan and Grumio, he's closing in on quite rapidly, but not close enough this time. So Grumio with the momentum is still holding on to P1, but for how much longer? Because this could be a good run down the main straight if a Fan uses DRS. Sorry, I don't know why I brought you into that, Pope. There goes Fan, looks to the inside. Lap 4 now gets underway, and Fan looking to change things. The Mercedes moves into the lead. Last week's winner in Bahrain, looking to come last to this week's winner in Saudi Arabia. Fan's the lead.
Yeah, fantastic move there by Fan, but other drivers down at the back, like P9 to I think 12, are just separated within a second of each other. This is crazy little battle. Tyres rubbing up against each other. This is just fantastic squabbling. A slight bit of contact, but nothing but hard racing. This is all good, and it's great to see, especially compared to last year where people weren't able to catch these moments where the car goes a little bit wide or something like that. The drivers would feel a bit more in control this year, and it's really, really paying off for us spectators.
I see Top Cat going a bit wide there in the back. He's trying to join this fight in the race for the 8th spot, which is currently being led by Dan, who has rejoined the race now. JB's been chasing him down the last lap or so. Grumio's got DRS here, so it won't have a good go at Fan. And I dare say he could try and get him going to the chicane. He's going to look to the outside. That'll be the inside for the left-hander. He's going to hope to try and pressurise Fan to a mistake of some kind, but Fan's having none of it here, holding on to his line. But for how much longer can he keep that lead? Because Grumio's even closer this time. DRS now wide open. Sniper looking to close in as well. Grumio to the outside, moves into the top spot once again, reclaims it. The defending champion, and Sniper closing in too. Could we see a 3-way race down the main straight for the lead here? Have to wait and see. Off the corner they come. Fan got a bit wide there. That could allow Sniper to close in that little bit more. But the DRS goes back on both cars' rear wings. And they're closing on Grumio here to start lap number 5 of this Grand Prix. Fan getting closer and closer. Looking to the outside. Grumio defends the inside very nicely indeed there. Going into turn 1. He's got the move. But Fan this time on his inside. They're getting very close to contact. Wheel-to-wheel stuff off the corner. Grumio narrowly stays in front. And Sniper Hunter is all over the back of that Mercedes. Looking to make something work.
It's all good, well, and now having these fantastic bottles are fantastic for us, but I think in the back of these drivers' head now, they have to start thinking, obviously they've got a nice little gap to Badman, but one slight mistake and that's that race ruined. Ooh, Sniper skating through there, the tyres are so on edge, and
yellow flag.
Like Alvar is retired in sector 1, we'll try and ride on board with Eel Scotsman to have a look at what's happened here. Oh, he's gone straight on there, that's a nasty, nasty collision that. Looks like no safety car though, so drivers will just continue going. And we'll see if Sniper, who is so close to the back of Fan, will be able to try and close up and make a move. But these drivers are really giving us a show here today. It's been fantastic.
Definitely. We're only 5.5 laps into the thing. I think with Alvar, what may have happened is going into the left-hander, sorry, he may have got a bit too close to that wall because I saw the front left tyre was ripped off the car. So I think he may have hit that wall a bit too hard, gone straight on and off into the barriers. So race over for him, unfortunately. Down to 16 cars in this race. This Fan looking all over the shop, trying to make something work here on the race leader, Grumio. Sniper now proving to be a very formidable teammate for the current champion with the retirement of Landlord at the end of last season. Sniper looking to try and replace him as best he can here. DRS to pull it, but not enough to stop Fan from closing in. He had to go super late on the brakes to try and make this work. No shot, no point in taking that risk, and holds on to P2 for the moment. So it's all calm down here, but it's not too calm for the guys behind. Currently, right now, Curtis defending P5 from his teammate and BJ. So TJ and BJ going at it in the race for P6. Looks like the T has got the advantage on this occasion. So holding on to P6 at the moment as JB and Courtney Goldman battle for 10th. So battle for 9th with PJ Keller trying to get involved with them as well. It's all J's here in the fights for position. Save for the cars up front. It looks like JB will hold on for it for the time being. But Dan, who's being chased by that pack a couple laps ago, has really pulled away. He's 2 seconds clear of those guys now.
Yeah, it shows you how much time battling costs you, which I think shows the actual pace of these leaders that they have right now, that they're still gaining on Badman, even though they're squabbling and following each other. But it's now going to go down to strategy for these guys. Will they be able to pull it off? I'm not too sure, and you never know. Like I say, safety car could come and ruin one of their races. Someone that will bite a bullet here, but we will see who coming to the end. Probably the last 3 laps is when you'll be seeing the last main changes for positions. But will Fan be able to make a move down into the final corner? He's gaining rapidly on Grumio, but sensibly stays behind to get DRS one more time. But Grumio's been getting fantastic exits off that final corner. Not as nice as that one this time. So Fan will be eyeing him up into turn 1. DRS open. Using a little bit of overtake, swings down the inside. It looks like Fan is cleared in by turn 1, but wow.
Whoa, that was
Grumio,
close.
that is late on their brakes and very close racing. Down the inside, Sniper Hunter's going to be licking his lips for just one of them to go wide so he can slip through. But Grumio, fantastic, stays in the lead. That was a great little battle between them two. Very clean.
Definitely, Grumio displaying his expertise as a 6-time record holder in terms of RDL championships. Fan, of course, yet to see his name on the trophy in this league, but he's definitely giving him a run for his money right now. And Sniper Hunter, not too far back either. So once again, I'm seeing Grumio being challenged by a very, very fast Mercedes. I'm hoping that's a trend we'll see continue over the course of this season.
Yeah, it'd be great. I'd love to see everyone win a race this season. That'd be fantastic. Shows how competitive this league is. Obviously, people have got different preferences to tracks, and it looks like these 3 are having a field day here.
Definitely pulling away now to a 5.5 second advantage over Badman, who's kind of in no man's land right now in P4. But he's got TJ and Curtis trying to close back in on him. Those two giving each other a fantastic tow here. They're pulling away from BJ at a rate of knots here. So 2 Alfa Romeos somewhat working together, if you will, in terms of just trying to close that gap to the leaders. So they're doing a good job as of right now. A Sniper Hunter all over the back of C110P Fan goes a bit wider there going into the corner. On the exit, Fan gets a great drive off by comparison, but he's not close to this time, not by a long shot to make a move on Grumio, short of the Alpine binning it down the main straight.
No, he's very, very smart there. Well done by Fan to do that. But I want to make mention to what you were saying about the 2 Alfa Romeos. These 2 fantastic teammates, good friends for a very, very long time, and though maybe not the one lap pace that the Alpines have got, or even the Mercedes, their racecraft, their race intelligence, I think that will make them such a formidable competition for this Constructors' Championship. Cannot wait to see how it unfolds over the rest of the season.
Definitely, of course. I do think back to last season. Of course, TJ took I think either 2 or 3 victories in all last season. I don't know one for sure in Belgium, and was the win. He was the winner in the end of the reverse grid finale in Brazil, despite Grimir winning the race on track thanks to the penalty that he got. But yeah, sheer consistency from these Alfa Romeo drivers. You don't always see them up on the podium. You don't see them with all the plaudits on the top step. But you do see them in the points consistently, race after race after race. It's just they need a few more of those points, if you know what I mean. Bagman goes a bit too deep there. May have got a warning for track limits. So, but he's being rapidly closed on here. And these guys keeping each other in DRS range right now, keeping very close together. Less than a second separating them, and TJ almost just over a second behind Badman. So you could see the Red Bull. Let's see what he can do in wheel-to-wheel situation.
Yeah, we're not seeing much of Badman in this race, like you say, the world of his own in a sort of way. But I think everyone's settling down a little bit. He's still got a battle for 9th raging on between the Ferrari, Williams, and McLaren. But Williams caught just clipping the wall there. I wonder if he's got a bit of damage on his front wing now after that. Not too sure, but yeah, I think everyone's kind of settling down now, and we'll probably see this sort of pit stop phase.
Can't see any damage from the rear wing of JB's car looking at Courtney Gobbins Williams, but I think he's okay for the moment. I think if he does have anything, it's definitely drivable, because it looks like he's doing a good job as of right now. He's closing back in on the Ferrari. Of course, it's different to see the Courtney Goblin and what was the Courtney Goblin Websy pairing not in a Ferrari for this season, because they've been driving that thing the last couple of seasons or so. But so yeah, so it's weird to see JB in that car, JB and Lucky Lambo in the car this season. But yeah, that's a change I have to get used to. And that's what I do love about this league. There's always that versatility in terms of driver changes, in terms of who is where in what team at what point. So it's always fun to see different names in different cars.
Yeah, massively. I mean, at the end of the day, I paid for the first race of the season, and I'm a commentator. Well, now I am anyway. I'm an ex-champion. I think my role for this season is primarily commentator, but I might still appear for the one-off, hopefully Monaco. That'll be quite nice. I do love that track, but I might not even be in my old team Mercedes. It could be whatever, but I think that is something that we get here in RDL, which no other league can provide to that extent. But we see PJ making a move down the inside, no, backs out of it, slows him down, and he's just lost a lot of time there. But Courtney going wide, a bit unnecessary warning that, but he's got a penalty, so now he's going to have to manage that into the race, and that's the first penalty, 10 laps in. Not too bad for these drivers on such a harsh track.
Definitely, of course. You said about Monaco a few moments ago. I'm personally hoping that, in a way, that as much as you enjoy Monaco, I'm hoping you're up here in the comments box of me doing it, because I want to see you try to get through a 39 lap Monaco race in terms of keeping the stream as entertaining as you can. Because I feel like with two commentators, it could be a bit less of a challenge. But yeah, no, if we could see you in the car at some point again this season, that'd be brilliant to see. As much as it may mean that I'm on my own up here. Might have to get someone in here to replace you instead, potentially.
Yeah, you do a fantastic job, Zach. You've done this for many years now. So, yeah, I'm sure you're confident enough, but yeah.
Yeah, you're too kind.
Spot for a race, then I wouldn't mind that. It'd be quite nice to get the thrill of driving a car again. That's what I miss, I think. But Courtney boxing after that penalty onto the hard tyres, I think he'll be there now until end of the race. Is that triggering the first stops? Remember, in this game, the undercut is is it undercut? Undercut, yes, the undercut is massively powerful. So I think if the drivers are listening, there you are. That's my top tip. That's Pope's top tip. The undercut is massively possible, massively profitable. So make sure you make the most of it.
Definitely, we'll see in the next few laps or so whether or not any of these leaders will come into the pit lane. Of course, Alpine in a bit of predicament there, because they'll definitely have to coordinate their pit stops a bit better. Not to mention Fan breathing down the necks. The big thing for Fan is that right now the gap between him and BJ is quite a vast one. So theoretically, they probably could pit on the same lap and not lose out at all. Whereas obviously these two wouldn't be able to do it, but you wouldn't want to double stack anyway. So they have to coordinate who's coming in when. Oh, there goes Fan off the track! No. And the championship leader, the first race winner of season 15, now out. I think the exact same thing happened to him as what happened to Alvar a couple of laps ago, and it looks like we're still going. We're staying green here.
We're going, yeah, no safety car for the same incidents a bit. Concerning and the people rushing into the pit, just in hope for a safety car, trying to profit off that, but that is just opened it up massively for Alpine now. They don't really have to worry now about this double stack. They've got more than enough gap to be free. So with nothing going wrong for the rest of this race, these two should be securing a 1-2. First 1-2 of the season. And what other team than Alpine to get it?
Definitely, and I dare say we could see Sniper Hunter moving into the championship lead with a third and a second place finish to start things off. TJ would finish second last time up, but he's in fourth right now, so he needs to take a place off of Badman in order to close that gap. And in terms of the fastest lap, that currently is held by Fan, so in order to get the extra point, that they'd need one of these two to set it on fresh tyres. So we'll see what the plan is, whether the Alpines will race each other or whether they'll just follow home in procession to the flag. We'll have to wait and just see what they're choosing to do. Does Grumio just choose to get out of here now, or does he try and keep his teammate in range in case something happens to him?
I think realistically you're fine. You've got 10 seconds to Badman behind. You can leave your teammate and just race your own race, focus on yourself. But one thing that I am keeping an eye out is TJ closing rapidly to Badman. Badman lower on ERS, you can tell that by the flashing light at the back of the car, showing that he is on 10% or less. When it does it, he's not on a straight, so it'll be quite hard to obviously recover when under braking. That's how the ERS system works. But TJ is definitely someone to look out for now, and this is what I was saying. Consistency is key. We've just had our race winner, the crash out. Last race we had our championship. What's the word?
Reigning champion. There we go.
Reigning champion. That's the word. Crash out. So you never know what could happen here. So I wouldn't. It's all about consistency, and Sniper and TJ look to be some of the most consistent right now, and I love them both. So I do wish them well, and I cannot wait to see how that battle rages on.
I'd definitely pay good money to see some new contenders having a go at the champion. But you know what they say, when you come for the king, you better not miss. So these two have to take their chances, given how good Grumio is on a number of these tracks, and definitely how good he is in qualifying. But we've seen these two so far doing a fantastic job. We're going to look at TJ here as he closes on Badman, looking to the outside to make his way up into the podium places, which he can do now thanks to Fan's retirement. Around the outside goes the Alfa Romeo and surges forward up into third place. It's 2.3 seconds back to Curtis in fifth. Does Badman come back at him though? No chance. TJ goes off into the pit lane here. So the first stop of cars in the top 10. Curtis into P4, Badman to third place. And Grumio getting very close to that wall. Perhaps even as close as Fan did, but kept it out there, fortunately. BG up into fifth place now. Dan will go into sixth. TJ onto a set of hard tyres to go to the end of the race on. So that'll be the plan for the majority of these drivers, to go from mediums to hards, given that's what they started the race on. So I think there's going to be a very common strategy for the majority of teams to remain in this Grand Prix. Yellow flag is out, and that is Evil Scotsman, who has not crashed but spun the car. So definitely no safety car there, not even a virtual safety car, nothing like that. And I will say, Huggy Bear has made his, what I believe is his first stop of the race. I have to have a look here. Sorry, his second stop of the Grand Prix, onto a fresh set of medium tyres. He needs to get a safety car or something to get himself back in this race. We haven't heard much from him tonight.
Yeah, no, sadly not for the Hugster, but after all, it's Huggy Bear. He wins in our hearts. That's the main thing. I love the guy. I'm so glad he's racing again. But I think we're going to miss him for the majority of the season, so I'm glad he's made his little cameo appearance. But like I was saying, TJ, smart decision. Overtook Badman, went straight in pits. Did not need it unnecessarily battle, does not lose any time to the car behind, and means that basically he can continue his race. And like I was saying, undercut's very powerful. He's probably gained a second or two already on Badman. So I want to see what the gap is when Badman eventually pits and comes out. But we see Sniper Hunter now in the pits, making an undercut on Grumio. Grumio has the pace, so he'd probably be able to defend quite well from this undercut. But we'll see if Sniper comes out in traffic, when he will do, I'm pretty certain, with a Mercedes off BJ. It's probably not what Sniper wanted, to be honest. Bit of a shame for him. So he will have to battle an extra car, which was unnecessary. Not a great decision there by the Alpine strategist.
I'd see just when Grumio comes into the pit lane here, we'll have to see him try and manage his tyres as best he can. 13-second lead right now to Badman in second place. Now BJ in third, Sniper Hunter, as you say, Pope chasing him down in fourth. But if you can make light work of Mercedes, then I dare say there shouldn't be too much issue, in that respect. He's using his overtake button now, trying to go for it, going into the left-hander. And I dare say he'll get the job done with relative ease here. BJ definitely with some of the chance to come back at him though. Sniper Hunter went in way too deep. BJ on the inside, and crucially, he'll now have DRS for this next bit. So, as you say, Pope, Sniper Hunter could find himself unnecessarily battling BJ for the 3rd spot, and as a result, might lose time to Grumio in the pit lane, which, given he was 2 seconds back to begin with, isn't something you want to see.
No, definitely not. I think you see that though, how much Sniper's already getting. That's the difference between fresh tyres, even hard and mediums. There's such a gap this year. That's why I was saying the undercut's so powerful. You want to make the most of pitting early, using the fresher tyres when everyone else's tyres are still quite old and wearing out.
Evil Scotsman unlapping himself there. He's currently just in front of our race leader, but we'll no doubt have to give that place back when the blue flags come into play, which they definitely should do. And if not, I dare say Grumio will take matters into his own hands and find his way around. Badman into the pit lane here. Soft tyres gun on the car. That's an audacious choice here from the Red Bull driver. Can he make those last to the end, do you think, Bob?
Honest answer, no, I don't think so. I mean, we're seeing the mediums go around 14, 15 laps, maybe even more for some of the drivers. So if he's got good tyre wear, maybe. But I think Badman needs to start pushing. I mean, like I say, look at that gap. Remember, TJ boxed within a tenth of Badman. He's gained 3 seconds. That's how much the undercut is powerful. It's crazy on this year's game.
Definitely, and now Sniper Hunter's in 2nd place, so I'm looking forward to seeing. I mean, but how long, say, on average, is the car spending the pit lane on this track? It's around 20-25 seconds, isn't it?
I thought it was around 18-19 seconds, to be honest. That was my initial thought, but I'm not. Maybe it is around 20 seconds. We could see Sniper Hunter take P1 when Grumio pits. We'll all have to wait and see, which will be exciting. Evil Scotsman getting ignoring blue flag penalty. I'm not too sure about that, so maybe it gets referred to the stewards. We'll have a look later on and let them deal with it. But TJ passed Dan now. Look at the difference of tyre. It's crazy how much it is different.
Moment of truth here. Grumio into the pit lane. He's also going for those soft tyres. This is definitely a bold strategy call, and I dare say he's going to re-emerge in the lead of the race. But Sniper Hunter closing back in on him. Now we'll see as they race towards turn 1. Sniper Hunter needs to get out in front of Grumio. He hasn't got out in front of Grumio. The move has failed on Sniper Hunter's part. He's now 3 seconds back against a very fast Grumio. Now on soft tyres. Is the race over for him?
I'm not too sure. I don't think so. It depends how quickly those soft tyres drop off. Remember, Sniper Hunter, our hardest set that we have at this race, so he's going to be there for the long run. He might be able to push near the end of the race. It depends what gap Grumio builds now and how long those tyres will last.
This has been a race of tactics so far, and that's the race that even the more experienced viewer can come to enjoy, as opposed to with Venom X both. The start that was all out action with the DRS in the opening laps till Fan crashed out, and since then it's been a game of strategy and just seeing if they can make that undercut work. He said it was very powerful on this game, Pope. So we've seen it with TJ and Badman, not so much with Sniper Hunter and Grumio. Probably because he spent a bit of time battling BJ there, so it hasn't helped this case too much. But I would have thought that Evil Scotsman keeping Grumio behind him might have also not helped him at all in that respect. But he's now even further out front than he was before, so we'll have to see just what the plan is for Alpine in the last 10 laps of this race, whether or not Grumio can manage those tyres to the end. Personally, I have no doubt that he will, but we'll have to see just how, as you said, just how quickly those tyres drop off.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure about the softs around the circuit currently. Obviously, tyre pressures and stuff like that as a big factor to play, but it's exciting, and this is, for me, Sniper Hunter setting the fastest lap with a 1:31.0, going to be beat by Grumio. I would bet my house on, but I think even Baba beats it. 1:31.017 shows fantastic pace there by Sniper Hunter, actually, for matching someone who is on 2 lap old soft tyres on 3 lap old hards. Very, very good lap there by Sniper.
Definitely. I see Badman closing the gap massively to TJ here. He's looking to try and win that place back if he can. I'd be very impressed if he can. Lucky Lambert passing BJ on the way up the pits. Will be side by side of the corner. Well, not quite side by side, but BJ comes out now on soft tyres just behind, and I say he can definitely make those to the end if the other two can, without a doubt. But how much time will he spend battling Lucky Lambert here? He's in a Ferrari sandwich because he's got JB not too far behind either, also on relatively fresh hard tyres. So we'll see what the plan is. Grumio out to a 5-second lead over Sniper Hunter right now. I dare say if he keep this one going. He's got his first one of the season in the bag. TJ will be the one under pressure here because Badman is closing rapidly on him here, looking to try and make that work. BJ was a bit too wide there, but Lucky Lambert does the exact same thing. So BJ into 6th place now. We start trying to close down that 11-second gap to Curtis, who's been holding on to 5th place. Very strong right now. I'll have to see what the Constructors' Championship table looks like, but I dare say Alpine will pull a lot of points back here with a 1-2. I
mean, they'll probably be getting maximum amount of points as soon as Grumio crosses this line right about now. Yes, 128.3. Wow, that's a stonking lap time for a race as well, using all of his battery there for that lap. But now it's to see it out to the end of the race. I feel like the Alpines have got this one in the bag.
Definitely. I look at it now. As it stands, they're 13 points back in the Drivers' Championship. So, in the Constructors' Championship. So I think the 1-2 will definitely help their case. But Alfa Romeo having their drivers in 3rd and 5th will also keep things nice and close between those two teams. Red Bull will be allowed to pull away from, probably pull away from Mercedes a bit more with the fans' retirement, meaning no points for half of the team there. BJ will be only taking 8 points home as it stands, unless the cars behind him catch up, or if he catches Curtis, which he's done a job of so far. He's already gained a second of that 11-second advantage the Alfa Romeo held over that Mercedes. Badman is not closing it as much. Yellow flag, and that's BJ out of the race. Oh, I've jinxed him. What has happened to BJ? And the safety car's out.
The safety car, wow. Okay. Now this, already my driver's head is already flicked on here. What am I going to do in this situation? I'm sat up as quickly as possible. I feel
Double
like
retirement.
Box onto softs. That is such a shame for the Mercedes team, who were battling Alfa Romeo with the constructors. Both drivers out. That's how dangerous this circuit is. And yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, I didn't crash my Mercedes last week, so it's normally me the one that's crashing out, so unlucky to them. I might have given BJ a bad curse there, so I do apologise to him on that. You gave him a commentator's curse and I gave him a driving curse, but Grumio's even into the pits.
Oh, and does Snipe Hunter join him? I think he's going to join him. Okay, so the plan now is for drivers to come onto the soft tyres at the end of the race, so we will see a full soft showdown over the last 6 laps or so of this Grand Prix, perhaps even less than that. And again, we're looking at a late race restart in Jeddah, as we did last season as well. And that race, teamwork came into play. We saw BJ hold up the field while Fan on very, very warm medium tyres went on to seal the win. So we could see that same sort of thing happen again, but I don't think that the Alpines will be as nice to each other. I reckon Snipe Hunter, as it stands, we know that Grumio will score points in the championship. I reckon their priority as it stands will either both decided to let them race, or to give Snipe Hunter the advantage, because he's close in the championship. He's battling TJ in the championship right now. He's also going to soft tyres. So I think the plan should be to prioritise Sniper here and trust that Grumio will score points later in the season.
I feel like, yes, I think that'd be the tactical decision, but we're race 2, Zach. We're race 2 into the calendar. Let them fight. Please let them fight. Just to see a little bit of action in this race. It went all very strategy based, which I love. I love like trying to see what will happen, and I try my best to give you guys at home the insight as possible from someone who was doing it not too long ago. But now this is just showdown time, and like you said, we saw it last season with the 2 Mercedes. We're in a very, very similar position here, but those cars are now blue Alpines. I'm excited for this.
I'm very, very hyped. This is sort of like Grumio and Lando back in the day when they were last in the Alpine, which was season 13, which is about a year ago at this point. So, of course, I wasn't here at that stage, so I never got to see the early battles at least. Both Mercedes cars are out of the race. That's so crucial for them. And we have to wait now for everyone to join back up. Huggy Bear with the last car. Also, no, Evil Scotsman with the last car to do so. The Aston Martins are in 13th and 12th right now. Courtney Goblin, 1 spot outside the points in 11th. Lucky Lambert in P7 there. Made the decision to go onto medium tyres. So I think he's hoping we'll get underway quickly and those soft tyres drop off towards the last couple of laps. He might try and make up some more places. Let's see what the plan is for him.
No, I think someone that will be very happy with how that race is going is the 2 Ferraris, P7 and 8. I know it's a bit off field and off topic, but I think that's really, really good for them. Lucky on the mediums though, I'm not really too sure about that decision compared to how quick the other drivers are going to be on those soft tyres, but bearing in mind, pardon me, but I'm not too sure where he finished last race. You have to bear with me on that.
You finished P11 last round, from what I can see.
P11, so no points. No points for Lucky, or if so, 1 point due to reserves. So he's looking to get some good points here. So let's hope those medium tyres could come off, and the Williams as well, who were complaining about their lack of pace shown in Bahrain through the car. So let's hope that they can make up for it here, and in this last few scrap battles, gain a position just to gain a point for the table.
Definitely. The last couple of cars closing up now towards the back of the grid. I dare say we're going to go in this time, Pope. So I'm thinking RDL Community Event 5 lapper with points on offer. So this could be crazy. We could be in for quite a 5 laps here. So I have to see who comes out on top. I think Grumio is probably the overwhelming favourite, but he should also make sure that Sniper Hunter stays behind him on the run to check a flag, given that he's racing the championship. It would probably be more prioritising, or probably be focusing on TJ with Sniper Hunter, because of course those two, second and third last time out, but TJ came second and Sniper Hunter came third. As of right now, they'd be dead tied because Grumio has the fastest lap to his name. I'll check that. I have to check and make sure that's still correct. So one of these two cars needs that fastest lap, but they're both on soft tyres now. So if either one could try to upend the race leader, then they could be in a good chance.
This is just going to be absolutely thrilling, no doubt about it in this race. I'm just excited to see what's going to happen. I think the safety car, like you say, is in this lap, and they're saying it's like a 5-lapper. Now I know someone with the initials THB who is fantastic at 5-lappers, so I'm going to hope the Huggy Bear can show off a little bit of pace. I know he'll have to let most of the field through due to being lapped, but I'm just hoping and begging the FIA will just allow him to just sprint away and show his actual pace that he shows in our 5-lappers. But everyone's warming up those tyres. It's like a formation lap all over again. You need the tyres in a perfect temperature window so you can bolt and full beam it down the straight and see if you can make any positions up off the safety car restart.
It depends on when Grumio chooses to bolt. He has bolted already, and he's already 8/10 clear of Sniper Hunter, who's now got a face full of TJ as they charge towards turn 1. The Alfa Romeo dropping back a little bit here, but Grumio has pulled away to a rapid lead here. As Huggy moves over to the left-hand side to allow everyone through, unfortunately. So the FIA not allowing that here. Unfortunately, it has to stay behind everyone else. We get back to racing here on lap number 21. A few more laps to go in this Grand Prix, and Grumio's already out to an 8/10 lead. TJ back there in 3rd place. Badman still in 4th. Those guys pulled away from Curtis in 5th. He's got the rest of the field behind him. Dan in 6th. Lucky Lambert followed by JP, then PJ and Lycon, who's trying to strike those last few points for AlphaTauri. They're bottom of the championship right now. They've got some work to do in order to close those points up. But Grumio has pulled away here. And we're looking to try and set that fastest lap alight once again. But Sniper Hunter looking to try to do the same thing if he can. If he can get DRS, then he may have a good chance, but that's not for another 2 laps. So we'll see what the plan is for the Alpines here. But right now, dead tie in the Drivers' Championship for Sniper Hunter and Mr. TJ as Lycon takes away 9th place.
So we get very, very close between them two. Them two showing very similar pace and similar amount of consistency as well. P2 and 3 and then P3 and 2. This could be just... I'm excited. I'm excited for the rest of the season. This is what this race has got me excited for, is how we're seeing these two people that you probably wouldn't really put in a title contention. Obviously TJ has fought for it in the past, but Sniper Hunter has not really been there. He's not been here before. This is his first full season as a full-time driver, so it's exciting for him, and he's a fantastic driver, I know that, so we'll see what he can do. He's gaining massively on Grumio here. He's
proving hugely right now. 4 more laps to go in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Set the fastest sector 3. Could be on for that fastest lap if he can get close enough. His fastest is best lap there. 1 minute 28.637. So that's still a few tenths off of Grumio. He needs that DRS in order to do it. JB, the 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings there. Running in P8, I dare say that could be the end of his point scoring ambitions today. Well, they're saying that there's a number of cars behind him with penalties, so he might not be in too much trouble. He may finish just as low as P9 here at the end of the race. We'll see what happens in these closing laps. TJ has pulled away from Badman. He's about 8 tenths in front, and he's a second and a half behind the 2 leaders who are pulling away ever so slightly. They have no help behind, but they are scooching away from the pack, and Sniper Hunter's closing slowly but surely in on his teammate. Now, Pope, I dare say you said let them race. I think they're about to race, mate. You better start enjoying this one.
I am absolutely thrilled. The Grumio getting a better exit there, but for Sniper, it's now trying to prepare for the last couple laps, the last lap specifically. Does he want to be in front going into it, or does he want to be behind? It's all about those decisions. And as a driver, even though you're going around this track at bajillion miles an hour, changing so many dials, making sure everything's working correctly for the car, for you personally, you have to think about, where do I want to be in a few laps time? It's crazy how the minds work while you're actually sat in the cockpit.
It's incredible. Grumio with a bit of a wider exit there. Didn't get as good a run off this time. Sniper Hunter closing in. Could we see DRS games in the last 3 laps of this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix? We're about to find out. DRS redeployed. Sniper closing in, but lifting off there to allow Grumio to pull away to a bit more of an advantage going into turn number 1. So we'll see what the plan is for Sniper Hunter to try and snatch this race victory away and take the outright lead of the championship. 3 wide for the back for the last points paying spot. There goes the Top Cat around the outside of both Cottony and PJ Calvin into turn 1, letting those who score for P11 as he pulls over the point. He's trying to get away nicely, but half a second in front of Cottony Gold, but PJ is not letting him get away. Very close fighting.
Yeah, fantastic move there by Top Cat. He obviously made his debut in the reverse grid at Brazil. He showed a little bit of what he can do here. Bad making a move on TJ. What a move! These Red Bulls and Alfa Romeos are absolutely squabbling here. I think just over a second separating them all. That is very close racing for that team.
And TJ knows what's on the line now. The championship lead is on the line if he doesn't get that place back from Badman. Yellow flag. That's Lycon out of the race here. That puts him down at 2 P14. He's out of the Grand Prix with a few more laps left to go in this one. No chance of a safety car this later on. He's lost it at the exit of the left-hander. And here comes Sniper Hunter now. He'll have DRS this time. He's only 4 tenths back from his teammate who's got about half his DRS still in store here. So let's try and use that to keep his teammate behind. Because with TJ now in 4th place, that could be 3rd again. If TJ finishes 4th, Sniper takes the lead outright, regardless of whether he finishes 1st or 2nd. The Alpines just want a 1-2 here. TJ back into 3rd place. He knows what's at stake. Curtis to the inside of Daniel Aaron as they go off the corner. And Dan getting very close to we can almost get squeezed there. They're side by side as they come back to the line. 2 more laps to go up front. And Sniper Hunter looking to the inside now, going for the lead off his world champion teammate into turn number 1. The record champion going side by side with his rival and teammate. This is Hamilton Rosberg vibes here as they come off turn 2 and charging towards turns 3 and 4. And Grumio, as he did with Fan earlier on, staying in front of his teammate. But for how much longer, Pope?
Honestly, I don't know how long Grumio will be able to keep Sniper behind. Sniper is just like the animal unleashed right here. He's doing absolutely fantastic. Same amount of DRS now as Grumio, and he's going to have DRS advantage. It's all really tactical between the Alpines. I bet they're biting any else on the pit wall, but we are absolutely loving this. Get the popcorn in hand. I'll get you a discount at the cinema. I am so excited to watch this.
That was a fantastic analogy there. I absolutely love that. Right. And then back towards the DRS zone once again then. So Sniper's a bit further back this time. He's got about a lap and a half to go. He's about 3/4 of a second back off his teammate. He's theoretically, I mean, as of right now, actually, saying that, TJ's gotten away from Batman. He needs the race victory now to take the lead of the championship outright or to type the fastest lap. So does Grumio know this? Will he try and go? Could he allow his teammate through to try and swipe that lead? Or will he try and go for the win like the champ that he is? Sniper to the outside, using his battery here, but Grumio's got a little bit left. Switch back to the inside. He tries the crossover and makes it stick too. But now Grumio will have DRS down the main straight, so it's going to come down to this. The one more lap. This is it. The bell lap for the 2 Alpine cars as they come off the last corner. Lucky Lambert passing Curtis going into the last corner as the 2 Alpines take the white flag. One more lap to go here in Saudi Arabia, and it's all down to this. Sniper Hunter leads about half a second to his teammate, but we'll see if Grumio can come back at him.
Grumio is going to be planning all for that final straight. The DRS where Sniper Hunter made his move. Grumio's just want to follow him through these tight technical corners, saving as much as he can and absolutely blitzing it away. It's all about if Sniper can build a gap, which he is doing quite well right now. Coming from just overtaking to around 4 tenths. Grumio's tyre is looking a little bit more.
Oh, he's over the curb there.
Oh, it's getting close between these two. You can tell they are pushing tooth and nail. But someone I have to say is making those tyres work is look at them. Oh! Curtis rejoining with Lucky. That was very dangerously close, but Lucky into P6. But we have to head back up with these Alpines because we're going through the first DRS section now. Oh, man, the wall, these
got
guys
a lot of battery
are
too.
it. So close.
Closing.
You know exactly what Grumio's going to do. He's going to lift off, making sure he does not pass.
Oh, this is not a nice game.
It's tactical and it's probably going to raise a little bit of tension between these two. This would have been Sniper Hunter's
to the
first win.
outside, and that's the lead side back.
That's it. On
But
the final lap.
Does Sniper Hunter have anything left for this last corner? We'll see if Grumio can get the charge that he needs off the corner. Battery deployed, and that's all you need to know. The reigning champion comes back towards the line to win the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. The last lap pass on his Alpine teammate. Sniper Hunter comes home in 2nd place, doesn't start the fastest lap. TJ finishes in 3rd. Dead heat, 2-way tie in the RDL Drivers' Championship. Sniper Hunter and TJ end this one on, if my maths are correct, was 18 plus 15, Pope.
33.
Thank you very much. 33 points for both cars as Badman is out of the... What's happened to Badman here? He comes as a DNF on my screen. Did you see that?
He has stopped the car post-race. He did finish P5, if I'm pretty certain, or P4. P5, that was... Yeah, it was the 2 Red Bulls together, so I think the stewards going to have to inquire about that. I'm not quite sure what happens there.
The footage will show that Badman did indeed cross the line before crashing the car, so he did finish in the 4th or 5th. But in terms of the podium finishes today, it's all about Alpine, who have taken full advantage of Mercedes' woes and line up in a 1-2 finish after that, quite frankly, fantastic final lap. Has to be said. Hopefully we can get one of those two in just to discuss, because I'm not sure they were talking to each other during the race, but I think we need to know just what was going on between those two, because they're really going at it those last few laps.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's definitely something we need to figure out. That's just crazy. Last couple halves a hand, and yeah, no, it has DNF Badman. I'm pretty certain that's something that the stewards will definitely have to have a look at.
But now that the celebrations begin for Alpine and for Alfa Romeo, who will no doubt now sit 1st and 2nd in the Drivers' Championship, in the Constructors' Championship, sorry. And Grimmy will have closed that gap down to just 8 points here from 25 after the first Grand Prix. Fan though will slip down to 3rd place in the championship, and 2 new championship leaders this season. I'm not sure if TJ's had the championship before, but I know that Snipe Hunter in his very short full-time RDL career has never led the Drivers' Championship until today. So have a look at your final results when they come up on the screen here, and we'll look into some post-race interviews with some of the podium finishers after that quite frankly fantastic finish. And I've been waiting to talk to Mr. TJ for quite a long time, because these are the two interviews from his wins in Belgium and Brazil last season. They were a long time coming. Both nights he was unable to speak, so I'm looking forward to hopefully getting to talk to him tonight, as I'm waiting just for the race results to come up on my screen, which I don't think they are in the end, because the game's probably broken in that respect. So regardless, that could be the end of the race if we can't see them on here. I'm assuming that is the case. I'm thinking it's just coming back to the menus. Yeah, oh wait. Yep, it's doing it. Yep. So awful game glitch means I can't see the final results. We can't go through them for you. But Pope, before we get the interviews going, give me your thoughts.
Thought it was a fantastic race. Obviously, we had a bit of everything there. Obviously, the squabbling in the DRS between the first opening few laps. Then going through the strategy part of the race, something that I really enjoyed driving and watching. For me, that's fantastic to see. And then, obviously, that final few sprint laps on the soft tyres, just great watch. Fantastic pace from everyone.
Definitely, thoroughly enjoyable. I hope you guys watching in the chat had fun watching that one too. But yeah, so we'll look into some post-race interviews for our podium finishes in particular. And if anyone else wants one, we can look into that as well. So yeah, quite frankly, fantastic stuff there. Definitely enjoyed it. We got Top Cat here already. That was incredibly quick there. So I think Jamie sent a link as well. So Top Cat, mate, we got you in. That was a good race for you there. We didn't quite catch where you finished. It didn't show us the results at the end. But yeah, fantastic race for you. Talk us through it.
Good evening. Yeah, so a P11 finish. Obviously, there was a few people that ended up having smashes early on in the beginning of the race, which we took advantage of. Had a couple of bits of argy-bargy with a few of the drivers. I think major majority of it was last week, I think, to be fair. But yeah, we managed to smack our own win after completely failing the final turn on one of the laps. We had to go in for an early pit. So we decided to throw on a set of hards and just see what we could work with. And it was going okay, and we sort of ended up hovering about in P13. Then obviously that next safety car came out, and everybody took full advantage and threw the soft on. And I thought, well, you know what, I haven't had much pace today, but I haven't had a chance to get out on the soft apart from in qualifying. So let's give it a poke. And yeah, man, we had a really good race. Managed to double overtake down the straight on a couple of the drivers there, and a little flashy drift into T1, which was really fun. And just all in all, I just had an absolute buzzer. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it certainly sounded a fun time. We did catch the move you made on Cotley Goblin and PJ, the double overtake going into the first corner. So that was quite impressive stuff there from you. So yeah, you've done a few races now in this league. What are your thoughts on us so far?
Yeah, man, it's really, really good. It's really well organized. There's some guys that are rapid here, you know what I mean? So just learning a lot. Same again, keeping my head down, just knuckling down, like finding the lines, finding the grooves, getting into it. And yeah, man, we're having a good time. So thank you again for having us.
No problem at all. One other question I want to ask you about next week's race, if you'll be around for that. Of course, Australia next time out. We're looking forward to perhaps a point or two down under.
Yeah, man. So obviously, like we dipped our toes today. We was in P9 for a little bit, so yeah, we're hoping for a point or two next week. Fingers crossed if all goes well. Like and the strap's good enough, put enough practice in. I might actually have a chance with one. So yeah, man, looking forward to it.
I will hope to see you there. So yeah, thank you for joining us here in the commentary box, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you next week.
No worries. See you guys soon. Cheers.
I must say, I do appreciate the attitude that comes across from Top K after just a few races. We got two interviews in particular. We got Sniper Hunter and we got Dan, who both scored points. So Sniper, we'll come to you first, mate. After the quite frankly fantastic finish there, second place in the end, and tied with TJ now for the Drivers' Championship lead until the stewards have their say. So yeah, what's your thoughts on that championship leader?
I mean, it's just amazing compared to how I was driving last season. Like I've already outscored myself like 3 times over in this first 2 races compared to the whole of last season.
Yeah, that's what being a full-time driver does to you. So yeah, good race for you overall. Of course, good fight with both Blaze and with Fan. Of course, still Fan went out of the race, and that left you guys and the Alpines to battle it out. What was the plan for you in those last few laps after the restart?
It was just to follow him. It's like I knew I was never going to win. He's just too quick. But towards the end, I saw his light flash, and I thought maybe. So I sent it, and he got back past. But the DRS is just insane this year.
Definitely, it's very, very powerful in that respect. In terms of of course, the safety car came out. Did that change things in terms of your race in particular?
It made it a lot more fun. I was expecting just to sit around by myself the next 10 laps, so it was nice to have a bit more competition.
Of course, you tried to make the strategy work against Blaze in the pits. Didn't quite work out for you there, which is unfortunate. What was the thinking behind that?
Well, I just tried to undercut him, but when I came in from my box, I didn't know what button it was to box, so I may have had a bit of a slow start because of that.
Fair enough, yeah, okay, I understand that. Okay, last question for you. I'll ask you what we said to Top Cat. Australia next week. Are you looking to try and go and defend the lead to try and snatch it outright from TJ?
Well, I finished P3 in Bahrain, P2 here, so expect a P1 in Australia.
I'm gonna hold you to that in particular. So hopefully we'll see you back in the comments box for another interview next week. And congratulations on the podium, and perhaps we'll see you then.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Okay, then lastly here we've got Dan, who of course finished in the points paying places. Dan, give us your exact position, mate.
Yeah, I finished P5 behind my teammate Badman.
Very, very impressive. Because yeah, you guys in the Red Bulls had quite an exciting race. You fought with BJ, fought with the Ferraris. I think I saw you going against I'm trying to remember, against the Alfa Romeos in particular. So yeah, you guys had all the fun today.
Yeah, it wasn't fun at the start. I mean, I had to restart my computer so that I wasn't lagging.
That did happen, yes.
For the first couple of laps, and then when I came into the pit, I started the race on mediums, and then I pit for another set of mediums, so I had to pit. Luckily, the safety car came out, and everybody else pit for a set of softs around me, so I didn't lose any positions there. But yeah, it was a brilliant race. It's very sweaty work compared to last season. Last season, I didn't really bother because I didn't enjoy the game, but I am actually enjoying it this season. So.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it was fun to see you guys have a bit more action in terms of this season. I mean, so far it's been all right for you guys. I mean, 6th in Bahrain and 5th here, so it's on the up and up for you.
Yeah. I mean, looking forward to future races. These 2 tracks that we've just done, I'm not particularly big fans of. So I think the next couple of races could be good for us Red Bull guys, especially.
And I will ask you about Australia in particular next week. Are you looking forward to that race, or are we looking forward to getting it out of the way?
Yeah, it's a track that historically I've gone somewhat well at. It's a track that I enjoy driving. I do prefer the old format compared to the new one, however. But I mean, the main characteristics are that they're still similar. So Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully, like Sniper said, he went P3, P2, P1. If I can get a P4, then I'll be well happy.
I have to wait and see. Hopefully, perhaps we might see you back in here next week for a podium finish. So congratulations again on the points, and we'll hope to see you next week.
Brilliant, thank you.
No worries. Right, well that was the post-race interviews. Okay, we're going to wrap things off here. Pope, you got any final words for us?
No, I just hope everyone turns back up again next week and just enjoys it all over again. It was fantastic today.
Yeah, definitely good to be back. Of course, the first race couldn't be streamed, but this one will bring you the rest of the action over the course of the season. And we got some new contenders in the championship, so we're looking forward to seeing those guys duke it out over the next couple of races. So once again, you guys, thank you so much for watching. With our viewers consistently throughout the stream. I don't think it's dropped off even once at this point, because normally we see at some point there's no viewers. So it's good to see that hasn't happened today. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. We do appreciate it. Hope to see you this time next week on the 17th of July for the Australian Grand Prix, round number 3 of the championship. Until next time, for myself and Pope, it is goodbye, and we shall see you next Monday. Goodbye. I said goodbye twice. That didn't sound very good.
It's not a big deal. I'm certain. Alright, hold on. Good stuff. First one of the season.